I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us as we take a look at the weather for the rest of the working week and the long weekend. So let's kick off with the animated wind map. Now today we've put on the air pressure because I wanted to show you where these lows are, but they're not real lows. They're up here. And this map should show low pressure as this dark sort of purpley blue color. Instead, these lows up here, there are 3 of them, are not showing up. And why is that? Well, the air pressure in the middle of those lows is technically high pressure. So it's spinning clockwise within an area of high pressure. So as we go into the long weekend, I think the focus should be less on these low pressure systems and more on the humid nor'easter that is going to form on the back of this big high once it moves through. So let me break it down for you a little more. Here is the rainfall before we get into the daily forecasts. Once again showing the next 5 days. That's right through until Monday morning on Queen's Birthday Monday. The area in pink, that is anywhere around 45, 50 millimetres. So that's a good amount of rain coming through, considering Bay of Plenty, like the rest of the upper North Island, is in a significant rainfall deficit, not just for this year, but last year as well. So that rain will be very welcome. It's patchy in the north. Around Northland, you might not get quite so much. And the general rule is the further south you go, the lower the rainfall totals. And you can see the areas here with the green and the blue. That's just a few spits, a few showers coming in for those areas over the next 5 days. Before that rain arrives, we've got cold weather with that high rolling through. These places in the purple colouring, below 0 tonight. There'll be other areas around that have a frost where the air temperature might be 1 or 2 degrees above 0, but you still get the frost. So cold nights coming up for the next couple of nights as that high rolls through. And here we are on Thursday with that high in charge of the country. These weak areas of low pressure around it, 10, 15. So that's technically sort of high pressure, but it's just a little area of low pressure that's helping to fuel a few showers. But as I said, going into the weekend, focus more on the nor'easter and less on these areas of low pressure because they're not really driving in the rain. It will be the humid airflow coming out of the subtropics. You can see the beginning of it on Thursday. There's a little line of showers and there's a beginning of a nor'east flow. Cold start to begin with, a mostly settled day. There'll be a fair bit of cloud around. On Friday, as people head off for the long weekend, we've got areas of rain up here, some low pressure out to the west. It's not doing much. There's a lot of high pressure all around it. So if you're not getting a downpour of rain, you're probably getting a drizzle spell because it's just sort of light and patchy and quite narrow. Either side of that area of rain or showers, it should be mostly dry. So let's take a look at the weekend. Now Saturday starts off with low pressure just to the north, but it's that humid nor'easter coming into it that's the real rainmaker. So you'll notice most of the rain isn't actually in the low. It's between the low and the high out to the east, caught up in this sort of mini squash zone, if you like. So the rain clouds get pushed in. It's broken up and patchy. There'll be some areas that just get drizzle and dry spells. It'll be frustrating for some of you, but for others, that nor'east flow will just continue on in for a few days, and you should see those accumulations start to rise. Now on Sunday, look at that low. I mean, that air pressure is technically not really a proper low. So it looks bigger than it is because it's surrounded by this big block of high pressure. If you stripped the high away, there wouldn't be really any isobars around it. So it's this northeast flow coming in between the very weak low and the big high out to the east. The high is really the main driver of wet weather on Sunday, parked out over the Chathams, keeping most of the South Island dry, although you will get drizzle and late showers and patchy rain maybe forming around there. Generally, the southwestern corner of the North Island looks mostly dry on Sunday, but it's this humid nor'east flow that will see that rain pushing into Bay of Plenty. And then on Queen's Birthday Monday, again, it's that northeast flow coming right up from near Rarotonga, coming down and into the North Island. The low itself, very weak, so it's really the high contributing that rain into the North Island for the 3 days, but it will be moving along. So only really Bay of Plenty probably has the highest risk of seeing 3 days of wet weather. The areas around it should have a couple of dry days, or at least one dry day out of a 3-day weekend. So it's not perfect for you to all head away, but we're not yet 100% locking this in. We still need a couple of days simply because it's such a weak area of low pressure, and with high pressure either side of it, the squeeze is on, so it could still change a wee bit. But one of the analogies I gave yesterday was if you imagine this is a sheet of plastic and the highs are lifting up on either end, so all the water is rolling to the middle. And that's a little bit what we're seeing here with the high on either side The rain clouds being funneled into that nor'easter, and that's why we're going to see a narrow area of rain, but outside of that, probably just drizzle and a few showers. So we'll update you again tomorrow, Thursday, as we get closer to the long weekend.